Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I will be reading from the r/EntitledPeople subreddit, so let's jump into it. My brother wanted to propose to his girlfriend at my upcoming wedding. I said no, and all of this happened. I'm making this whole post here because I can't update in the original subreddit this all started in, so I'll compile everything here. I, 27-year-old male, will start this off by saying that my wedding is scheduled for April because my fiance, 25-year-old female, has always dreamed of a spring wedding. I really like the idea too. I have an older brother though, 30-year-old male, and last Saturday, I was called over to my parents' house to talk about something. They refused to tell me what until I got there. They sat me down with my brother and told me that my brother wants to use my wedding as the perfect day for him to propose to his girlfriend. I was instantly mad and told them absolutely not, but they ganged up on me. I ended up so enraged to the point that I, one man, somehow backed all three of them into a corner. I told them that if they want to do this, then not only will they all be uninvited, but I'll also cut off the financial support I've been giving them monthly since they paid to have my golden child brother go through college by taking out a second mortgage. I landed a decently high-paying job and have been sending $500 to my parents monthly to help ease their mortgage. I didn't ask for a stake in the ownership of their house either, because I really don't want it. It was entirely goodwill, and I can cut it off anytime. I left without speaking anything more to them. My brother came to my home the next day to yell at me, saying that I ruined his big chance because now our parents are siding with me and are saying that they'll evict him if he tries to propose at my wedding. He said I was financially blackmailing our parents and that he just wanted a good chance to propose because he was afraid his girlfriend might leave him soon. I said that was his problem, not mine, because my wedding day is not about him. And if he tries to propose at my wedding, I will have him thrown out. And I doubt his girlfriend would appreciate her proposal being followed up by being tossed out by a bouncer. He yelled a few choice words at me, then went crying to our only surviving grandparent, our maternal grandmother. She then called to try and ream me out over the phone. No surprise, my brother heavily embellished the version of the story he told her, and she still sided with him even after I gave her the real story. She tried to hold her ground, but the verbal backlash I ended up giving her left her crying. That got back to my parents, who were pissed at me for taking things so far, but I told them I only went that far because I had to. When they were all trying to get me to let my brother to use my wedding as his springboard for a proposal, they ended up agreeing with me, but still stated that they feel like I'm being crass. My brother showed up at my house again to scream at me that I'm an asshole and that I hope I'm happy with myself for not allowing him the opportunity. My fiance knows what my brother tried to do, and she's very angry about it. She's almost ready to have him uninvited if he pursues this any further. Normally, I have a very mild temper, but when it comes to certain people like my brother, parents, and grandmother, I can easily get short with them because of all of the past favoritism. My grandmother especially. She's always sided with my brother and believes his lies no matter what he did. She's the biggest reason my parents favored my brother too. I ended up speaking with my brother again and threatened to tell his girlfriend if he was still intending to propose at my wedding without permission. He took it poorly and called me an awful person. So I pointed out that my wedding isn't about him. Our parents were there for this, and they backed me up. I think my brother did a double take when they did that. My dad even pointed out that he'd raised my brother wrong, and that was on him. So from now on, my brother was to show them real respect, and they wanted to get an official lease drawn up for him to pay proper rent and utilities. He was only paying them $300 a month without contributing to any utilities or food. And if he doesn't want to pay, then he can move out and they'll rent his room to someone else. house. My brother turned to our mom for help, but she agreed with my dad. He looked like he was having a conniption, then left the house. He came back a couple hours later, but spoke to no one and locked himself in his room. 2 days later, my brother announced he was moving in with our grandma because she invited him. Our parents basically told him that if he wants to live with her, then go ahead. My brother responded to this by saying, "We all hate him for just wanting to propose to his girlfriend." My parents pointed out that it's not that he wanted to propose, but where he wanted to do it. So he'd get no support for it. He's refusing to talk to our parents now. My grandmother did try to call me again, but it ended up with me telling her that my brother will not be allowed to propose at my wedding, plain and simple, so he can get over it or not come. And the same goes for her. I also ended up calling her out on her favoritism towards my brother since we were kids, which she tried to deny at first, but couldn't keep doing so because of how much I'd pointed out. She ended up crying again while I told her that if she keeps trying to insist on this, then she won't be coming to my wedding. She begged me not to resign her invite, but still said she doesn't understand why I couldn't let my brother have his way before ending the call. My fiance is 100% on my side and is fully ready to remove my brother and grandmother from the wedding. My grandmother hasn't called again, and she's not talking to my parents either. My guess is my brother went crying to her again to tell her that mommy and daddy weren't enabling him anymore, and that's why she offered for him to move in with her. But there's literally nothing she can do to sway me, and I think my last conversation with her made her realize that. I didn't wish to tell my brother's girlfriend, but she called me up on Saturday about my Reddit post. She saw it read in an online video, and then realized that it might be me with the way I described my brother and grandmother. So yeah, now she knows. She ended up tearing my brother a new asshole, and he tried to justify himself to her. That's when she told him they were through and cut all contact with him. My brother, of course, blamed me, even though his girlfriend said that she's been ready to leave him for a while now. And if he did try to propose, no matter where, she would have told him no. My brother showed up at my place one more time to have a fit and said he is boycotting my wedding. He actually thought he had leverage by saying that him and grandma won't go. I said that I wouldn't miss him and that he's in his 30s now and needs to grow up. Our parents have cut the umbilical and are no longer supporting him, and they're already repainting his room to rent it to someone else. They also plan on renting out my old bedroom as well because they need the money after the financial hole he left them in after dropping out of college just to mooch off them and then get a degree with online college later and then barely pay any rent while also making them pay for his food and utilities despite having a good paying job. They spent the world on him and he wasn't the least bit grateful. Edit, yes, I have very good security hired for the wedding and they'll toss my brother out in a heartbeat. Wow. OP's brother is a complete loser. I hate calling people that, but this brother is. Not only is he a 30-year-old man-child, but it seems like he has no idea of how marriage and respectful relationships work. I'm afraid I'm going to lose my girlfriend, and I'm going to propose to her are two sentences that should never go together. That's like when people's marriages are failing, so they decide to have a baby. It never works, and neither does getting engaged to fix a failing relationship, especially not at someone else's wedding. So I'm honestly glad to hear that the girlfriend broke up with him. I do want to say kudos to OP for having a shiny spine. However, I feel as though if it weren't for OP financially supporting his parents, they wouldn't have taken his side. I feel like the only reason they cut off this freeloading brother and listened to OP is because OP has leverage and they don't want to piss him off. Otherwise, I really think that OP's entire family would have turned on him and taken his brother's side. I also think that OP needs to stop financially supporting his parents if all that money is just going to his brother anyways. Because in that retrospect, he's just enabling his parents to enable his brother. With that being said though, I do think that this OP is fully in the right for everything, and I do like this OP. I just think that his whole family are a bunch of people that love to play the victim and never holds themselves accountable for anything. And I hope OP realizes that one day and just cuts them all off. Maybe I'm being harsh and his parents really have changed. I hope they have, but only time will tell. And if time shows that they haven't changed, then it's time for OP to stop dancing the do-si-do with his enabling family. But anyways, that is all for me today. Let me know what you guys think of this one. I know not everyone's gonna have the same opinion as me, and I love to hear your guys' opinions. Please leave a like and subscribe if you want. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!